morning, everyone, once again. This beautiful morning, with a shower of blessing from above, in Yaba College of Technology, today, 10th of July, year 2024, gathering together in the academic boardroom of this noble institution. We are this morning commencing a two-day induction workshop for the Tvet trainers and skilled workers. It is being organized by the Guest Education and Skills Partnership, and it's my pleasure on my part to welcome you all to Yaba College of Technology and to the program. However, shall we commence this program with the national anthem with the first stanza alone?
Nigerians are proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
While we still remain standing, shall we just bow our heads and observe a few minutes silence for divine guidance. On the high table, Dr. Mrs. Fumilayo Duarte, Dr. Achun, Dr. Emmanuel, Architect Femi Lawa, Mr. Dennis Onaise, Dr. Engineer Ismail Eda Ayo Aruge.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to the induction workshop for the Girls Education and Skills Partnership Project. And I'm delighted to see our dedicated and enthusiastic group of Tvet trainers and skilled workers here today. First and foremost, I'd like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our partners from UNICEF and all our esteemed collaborators, especially Comten. The president is also here. Our facilitators, we are grateful for your contribution and support. This project is not just about providing skills. It's about empowering young women to overcome barriers and create a brighter future for themselves and their communities. We know that Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa and is facing unique challenges in delivering quality education and skills development opportunities. And education and training in STEM fields, technical and vocational education and training, are pivotal in addressing the employment gap that we are facing and fostering economic growth. However, we also acknowledge the gender disparities that persist in this field, especially in the ICT sector. This project aims to tackle these issues head-on by providing gender-responsive pedagogy, inclusive learning environment, and industry-relevant training to over 5,000 girls and young women. Let's give a round of applause to UNICEF for that. So the purpose of this induction workshop for Tvet trainers and skilled workers is to provide an in-depth orientation to all participants, outlining the project's objectives, scope, and expected outcomes. And this workshop aims to emphasize and raise awareness about the prevention of gender exploitation and abuse. And we also want to educate participants on YabaTech policies regarding sexual harassment and gender-based violence. It seeks to enhance the skills and knowledge of Tvet trainers and skilled workers on competency-based training and assessment. Additionally, the workshop will introduce participants to the national occupational standards, facilitate knowledge sharing and networking among stakeholders, and conduct group work sessions focused on developing actionable plans. So by the end of the workshop, participants will be equipped with the necessary tools and knowledge to effectively implement the GESP project, empowering young women with valuable skills and opportunities for their future careers. Over the next 2 days, we have an engaging and informative agenda planned. We are honored to have Mr. Dennis from UNICEF delivering the keynote speech, followed by a crucial session on the prevention of sexual exploitation and abuse. And we also have Mrs. Folashade Ajayi, who will be taking us through, giving us insights into sexual and gender-based violence in tertiary institutions. So in the afternoon, we have group work. Tomorrow, we will give an overview of the National Occupational Standards and Essentials of Online Facilitation, because the training for the girls is in 2 phases. The first phase is the training at the workplace. That's why we are partnering with the industry partners. And the second part of the training will be online. So we have Tvet trainers here who will be taking the girls online. So the sexual harassment session will cover both the workplace and also digital sexual harassment, because I understand that UNICEF sexual harassment, sexual exploitation is prohibited even both by YabaTech and UNICEF. That's why we have a policy. And we are inviting you all here because you'll be training the girls, and we don't want to hear any reports about these issues by the time you begin the training. That's why it is important for you to understand the rules and the guidelines concerning these crucial issues. I encourage all of you to actively participate in this workshop, share your insights and collaborate with one another. Together, we can create a nurturing environment where these young women can thrive, innovate, and lead. In closing, let us remember that this project is not just an investment in education. It is an investment in the future of Nigeria. By empowering our girls and young women, we are paving the way for a more prosperous, equitable, and inclusive society. Thank you all for your dedication and for being part of this transformative journey. Welcome once again, and I wish you all a productive and inspiring workshop. Thank you.
We are delighted to welcome you to this induction program, workshop. It's been a milestone in the Girls Education and Skills Partnership Project. At the Yaba College of Technology, we are proud to be part of this initiative aimed at empowering young women and adolescent girls through education and skill development. Our collaboration with UNICEF and other stakeholders underscores our shared commitment to address educational and employment challenges faced by young women in Nigeria. The GSP project is not just about imparting technical skills. It's about creating opportunities, fostering independence, and driving societal change.
I bring greetings from the Executive Secretary, National Board for Technical Education, Professor Idris M. Bugaje, the man I usually refer to as the Digital Executive Secretary, the man that will always talk about skill before he sleeps, the man that will refuse to wake up until he dreams about skill, the man whose skill is paramount in his agenda. And I want to let you know that Director of YabaTech, Engineer Abdul, is like a brother to the Executive Secretary, a brother born of different parents. What do I mean by this? YabaTech and the management team is always supporting anything that has to do with skill. They are always promoting skill delivery and skill acquisition. And that is what Tvet stands for. Please help me encourage YabaTech for doing that. And even if you check within YabaTech here, if you check your statistics of enrollment in engineering program, for instance, you will discover that there is low enrollment of girl child in that program. Why? Because of the nature of the program itself. But the nature shouldn't be a barrier. We should encourage as many girls as possible to enroll, even if it means to introduce certain incentives that will encourage them to participate better in those programs. And on this, I want to congratulate you, the management, and the coordinator for this project. And I wish you all successful deliberation throughout this 2-day program. Thank you, and God bless.
Is Able Lieutenant, the Southwest Zonal Director at this program. And if you all particularly listen to what he has said, the robust relationship between the college and the MBT has been a cordial and a fruitful one, and we want to appreciate the advice given to the institution. On that note, I want to call on Mr. Dennis Onoise to give the address, the keynote address at this point in time.
Director, I will beg to stand on existing and established protocol. I bring greetings from UNICEF. I'm representing UNICEF field office here. So our supervisor is the chief of UNICEF field office. And so I informed her this morning when I was coming, and then she asked that I should please stand in and apologize to you all that she would have loved to actually come here with me when I told her the nature of what I was coming from. It's something we are very, very, very interested in. And so it is important that she would have been here. The issue of the girl child education, like have been, generally mentioned, is something that UNICEF have been supporting and we want to continue to support. Yes, there are reports from some states of the Federation that girls are even getting more interested or are registering in schools more than boys. We have such data and statistics, particularly from the southeastern part of the country and also other parts of Nigeria. But even at that, we are concerned that education for the girl child have remained a very, very crucial thing for us in the country long before now. So it's something we want to encourage, and all those who are facilitators in this program, all those who are trainers, who are supporting these people, we really want you to take it seriously and ensure that this become a sort of example for particularly communities and states where we still have girls not being educated to show more interest in education. But beyond that, what is particularly also important for UNICEF is that where girls are being trained, we want them to be successfully trained and leave their training with certificate, with report that they were there and nothing at all happened to them. You perhaps know what I'm talking about when I say nothing at all happened to them. It is particularly disturbing these days when you see on the social media report of sexual abuse, report of sexual harassment, report of sexual exploitation.
It's my pleasure to give this vote of thanks. And before giving this vote of thanks, I had a look at the program of this Girls Education and Skills Partnership 2-day induction workshop. And I must say that I'm highly impressed with the positively outstanding topics for discussion at this workshop. And it is for this reason that I give high commendation to the organizers. And to the organizers, what I would tell you, and also the facilitators, is that the topics at this workshop have not gone unnoticed by college management and college community. And particularly because the Girls Education and Skills Partnership Program, as the organizer said, is not just for skill training, but also for skill empowerment, and also for nurturing of a girl child. But before I move to conclude my vote of thanks, I'd want us to not only humorously, but also scholarly examine the last part of our highly cherished national anthem. Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland. So the concept of motherland derives from inclusiveness, the concept, the desire to be inclusive. The woman is a source of life. So when you refer to motherland, you are referring to inclusiveness, respect, dignity. You give women dignity, you give women respect. They are the source of creation. And Africa regards this inclusiveness, especially Nigeria where we have diversities. We have the Hausa, we have the Igbo, we have the Yorubas, and we all come together as one undivided Nigeria because of a source of concept of motherland. And so it's for this reason that I highly commend the organizers once again for this Girls Education Support Program. And I believe that's going to be a workshop that will transform our country, Nigeria, from this our present state to a much more respectable and highly valued country. Thank you all. Have a pleasant day.
This is the major objective of this presentation, that all of you are made aware of the UN framework on PSEA. It's actually the UN one. As you know, UN have different organs. You can see it. I've been walking around. So if you see it, what you see, you take. But what you don't see, maybe you hear it when I'm talking. I like to walk around when I'm training. Next, please. Next, please. Yeah. So, first and foremost, please go back again. Let me ask, this is going to be more like facilitation. I'm not just delivering a note. I want to ask, what do people understand by SES? When you hear the word SES, as students, as academics, what readily come to your mind? What does that mean? What is SES? Sorry?
Like mutual concept.
Mutual concept, yeah, not quite there. Kind of gender. Okay, because I'm also going to ask you what is gender then. Yeah. So if you use gender to define sex, so I will ask you what is gender then. So who knows what sex is? Let's quickly, because this is where it starts from. Let's quickly understand this. Yes?
Practical definition.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be intercourse. Intercourse interaction between the male gender and the female gender.
Yes, because I hear the word intercourse. That is, I know a lot of people will say yes, that is what sex is. But it's different from what we are talking about in civil society group. Yeah.
Interaction within the man and the woman.
Interactions. Okay. So what is gender? Okay, you can't both of them to be the same. Yeah. Yes.
And gender will mean what? Male, female too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's close, but that is not what it is. Yes. So social, because of time, I will move on, but I'll be coming back to you for a question again and again. Next, please. Yeah. So sex refer to what we call physical, biological differences between male and female. You use the word male, female, right? Yeah, so you are almost there. But what I wanted was what it means and what make it different from gender. Sex refers to physical, biological differences between a man and a woman. Whereas gender is an issue of social construct. It's what society designed to say, this is female, this is what you must do. This is male, this is what you must do. So they are not necessarily the same, but people use them interchangeably. You are filling forms sometime, and you see they say name, sex, stroke, gender, religion. You see that? So we try to explain to people, for those of us in this field, just put in sex there. There is no reason to say stroke, gender. So because they are not necessarily the same thing. If you go to Europe, you can find a man and woman walking on the street. They are jogging, husband and wife. And the man is holding a cigarette. The woman is also holding a cigarette. They are both smoking. So that is why what we are here to discuss very quickly is very, very important for us to know these differences from the beginning before we go into it. Next, please. So what is power? Power, when they say somebody have power, particularly women, you know, when you work with a powerful civil society, for example, powerful civil society group, UNICEF, and you enter one of the UN jeep, and you go to a community in Ogun State, a rural area, a very rural area in Ijebu-Ode, you know, where children, girls, and all of that don't see this kind of jeep every time. Don't see you coming wearing a suit, expensive suit, and all of that. When you go and those children, those girls, those people see you, what do you think they are thinking? That you are a very powerful person. That's what they are thinking, that you are a very powerful person. So power is the ability to control and access resources, opportunity, privileges, and decision-making processes. Some example exist: social, economic, political. And you know when I say political, you know what I'm talking about. When I say economic, socio-economic. Age. When somebody is an elder, there is special respect. If I come and if I'm sitting down, an elder walking, I will stand up if there are no enough seats. That's because he's an older person. So that person wears some power that you do not have as a younger person. Is that clear to you? So that person has that power. Power is directly related to choice in many things we do. I just thought I should show you the differences, because there's difference between sexual abuse, there's difference between sexual exploitation, there's difference between this and sexual harassment. I just thought I should explain those words first, very quickly, before we look at where PCA is coming from and what does PCA really means. Next, please. So examples of sexual exploitation are these ones. I don't need to read all the details because I'm just giving you example. Offering of money, pressuring or demanding beneficiary to provide sexual favor against their will, like the example I just gave. Withholding due services, hiring sex workers. As a humanitarian worker, I cannot go to a community in Syria alone to go and respond to a crisis and say, for example, I saw a woman outside, and then I asked the woman to come so that I will give the woman money to be able to sleep with the woman. That is against our humanitarian ethics. You are there at that point in time to provide support and not to sleep with women out there.
Good day, everyone. My name is Matthew Moses, Compton Mastercraft. Compton. Okay, my question has to do with the gender-based violence. Okay, now, what we are actually practically discussing is violation or gender-based violence which has to do more of the male gender. Now, we are more talking about the UN, I don't know, maybe the UN platform. But now let's now move down to the practical aspect now where we deal on Now, where we are actually coming from, where we are to take our program is Computer Village. And Computer Village is a very big ICT hub with different flashy things here and there. Okay, now I'm now assigned some, let's say, students, which are female, the trainees. Okay, now I don't have the intention of anything, or maybe people in my own office area, my scope, my area. Then what about if they go outside my own office domain, and maybe there's something like sexual violence happens, and I'm not aware of it, I don't even have any consent, and the person doesn't report back to me as the mastercraft of the organization. First, how do I know about that? How do I address it? Then the second question is, we know Nigeria of these days. We know our ladies. We know how sexually aroused some of them could be dressing, how attempting. I don't know if anybody is getting my point. Yeah. How they dress, yes. Most of them, they are emotionally abusing the male around them. Most of us are married people. We might even try to, but it's not. You might be abusing me sexually, and I'm trying to control myself, but we know the next thing.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, sir, and thank you for that lovely presentation, sir. My question is stemming from what my brother asked over there. Now, we can easily say if you go to the beach or you go to some other country, I want to say, okay, that is communal. That is like they say, you get to a place, this is what happens here. This, like if I get to a school, I know in school what I get to do is study. So if at all I'm not studying and I see people studying, what will I do? If I'm a sharp guy, it should intuit me a bit, okay, now you to carry your book and read. Okay, so if I get to a beach and I see ladies all half naked or totally exposed, and I'm not moved, yeah, this is what happens here. But generally on the street, anywhere you turn, I'm trying to really make strong that point because I don't know if UNICEF have a policy around it. Yeah. Now, I'm disciplining myself because we are all different. I'm trying to ensure that no, I'm not going to fall. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I turn to the right. I'm seeing this big man, well-shaped, half exposed. I turn to the front again. I'm seeing another thing. And you won't call that harassment because I'm being harassed one way or the other psychologically. Okay. I'm not getting my balance.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Quickly. Clap for him. So my presentation this morning was talking about UNICEF, its partners, and the community where we work. We don't know about other community that we don't cover. We are talking about UNICEF staff, the partner we give money to work, the community where they work. So when he was talking about somebody leaving his domain, for example, go outside, and then that was why I first of all said, what you don't know, you don't know. But even beyond that, if the person go outside the office and is elsewhere in Yaba, for example, or elsewhere in the computer village, where people don't even have this training, where people don't know what we are talking about with sexual harassment and all of that, even if they come to report to him, who is he going to report to? Possibly police, to say my staff was abused, but not to you, according to UNICEF guideline. So we are particularly concerned with our staff not doing it, the partner we support not doing it. So I think that should be clear first. Then the second point you made, I wanted to ask, maybe I will be asked, it will be too much. So have you been to the US in recent time, or anywhere in the UK or anywhere in Europe? Have you visited? Okay, so I can see why you are using our own as standard. So if you say beach, we are using beach. So if this is summer now in Europe. Go to anywhere out there that is summer. It's enjoyment for them to walk the street like that. Go to schools. You will see how people, these jeans, a lady will put it here. These jeans, this short one, they will cut it, they wear it like that, and then you just put maybe bra around here. That is it now. So who is going to ask, my dear, what are you wearing? Now you born out. Even not because the house you come out from. They don't ask those questions. So it is here we are saying we need to do a bit of decency. We need to see our women properly dressed. We need to see our men properly dressed. So out there, it is not an issue for them. And so we have to respect that. But for here, the community will work. We have to also make sure that we don't try any of these things out there. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Individuals considering making a disclosure to the college should make sure that they have informed expectation concerning privacy and confidentiality. The college is committed to providing all possible assistance in understanding these issues and helping individuals to make informed decisions. So confidentiality is key also in your workplace when it comes to things like this. Then consensual, romantic, or sexual relationship guidelines. For us, he talked about power. A lecturer, to students, you tell the students, see me in my office. You are not expected to do that. And if you want to do it consensual, you must report to your HOD or dean. Many people will not do that. So don't even go there. So that if you are lecturing that student, they can remove that student under you. So it is not a defense that the student consented that, yes, I agree, because of the reason that Mr. Dennis talked about. So the same thing also with you people. The girls that you are going to be training are from ages 13 to 24. Even if they are above 18, please, during that 4 months, don't even say you want to date the person. Even if she say yes, it is not allowed. So this particular policy also applies to you also. And for those who will be facilitating our girls online, you must also ensure that the digital environment is safe for our girls as they are training them. I hope we are all together. So Mr. Dennis said their own concern is child below 18. Our own, everything. Yes. Below 18 and then above 18. As long as they are under you for that period. When they finish you can do whatever. But as long as. Because if you do that, that girl will not learn anything. She will be focusing on you. Yes. They say love is blind, Abby. She will not be going to the workplace to learn again. It is your face you'll be going to look at. So we don't want that. We want our girls to learn. And I hope you understand me. So scope of the policy. This policy applies to sexual harassment, gender-based violence that is committed by students, faculty, staff, appointees or contractors, or third parties, wherever you misconduct. So it applies to you, like I've been emphasizing. It applies to you. By extension, you are part of the YabaTech community because of the GESP program. So in our policy, we have institutional infrastructure. We have the sexual harassment, gender-based violence response team, which is the task force. We have the independent sexual harassment investigative committee in YabaTech. So if we get any of such reports, it is being handled by the committee. They investigate and they take necessary action and reports to the management. Complaint procedure for YabaTech is also listed or well stated in the policy. which we are going to share. The soft copy will be sent to you people, so that it's not a matter that I did not know. We have already told you now. Please read through the policy. Read through the policy. Then all members of the college community, and by extension, you people in your computer village environment, have the obligation to ensure compliance. You must ensure compliance to our policy. Familiarize yourself with our policy. Are duty bound to prevent and report any act of sexual harassment, gender-based violence on YabaTech campus or within your workplace where the training is taking place. Shall attend capacity development on sexual harassment, gender-based violence organized by the college, like we are doing now. Because many of you from the computer village are those that will train our girls. That's why we invited you to this program. Shall ensure confidentiality when they provide information or a complaint. Then part C of our policy talks about effective referral system review and evaluation and violations of other rules. So, like I said, it will be sent to you. Just take time to read through. Then we also have appendices. And then finally, thank you for listening. The slogan is see it, say it. Tell the girls when it happens, let them not keep quiet. We are no longer in the era of silence. Speak out. Yes, Soros, okay. Speak out when it happens and report. And you as Mastercraft, you should take action immediately. Thank you all.
One of the things I realized is that when we are talking about the issue of sexual and gender-based violence, we do not talk about people with disability, and they are part of the community. Sometimes disability are seen, some disabilities are not seen. Do you agree with me? Yes. So, personally, I have a disability that people will not, except I tell you, you will know. And sometimes I get intimidated because I have that disability. So, it is important that people who are in this community work on their self-esteem. When you work on your self-esteem, no one can intimidate you. No one can harass you. No one can coerce you. But if you have not worked on your self-esteem, it will be very difficult for you to be able to manage harassment or violence. So, recent reports highlight alarming statistics. For instance, a study by Society for Family Health Nigeria revealed that 30% of female students in Nigerian universities have experienced some form of sexual or gender-based violence. So out of 10 girls, you can be sure that at least 3, has experienced one form or the other. So I will start with my story. My own abuse did not start from the university community. It started as a young girl. But it is linked to education. So my parents believed that anything you want to do, you must go back to God. Do you understand that perspective? So they will readily tell me, go and meet a pastor, go and meet bishop to pray for you because you are going for your exams. Hello? So when I get to the bishop will be sexually violating me because my parents believe that for you to do well educationally, you must see a pastor or an afa. Do you understand? So that they can pray for you. Thinking that prayer will be the solution to coming out, well, to doing well, academic performance. This happened for a very long time. Then there's silence culture. It's a big deal for you to walk up to somebody and say somebody is sexually harassing you or abusing you. Sometimes people wouldn't believe. And that was what was going on then. This experience was about 32 years ago. So I could remember vividly. And guess what? The abuse continued after marriage. I've been married for 25 years. And the abuse continued. You know why? Sometimes when you refuse to speak up, abuse will continue. Because the person will be taking advantage on your silence to continue the abuse.
So there's no way you will lure me to enter inside your house. So if I'm free with my senior brother, so at a point I start discussing with my brother that why will an adult want to buy something from a young guy and he says you should come inside? Some will tell you that you should go and take the money that is on the table and bring it. So as you enter, they will follow you and lock the door. So when I notice all those things, in fact, my senior brother tell the wife that whatever I want me to pay you, I'll pay you. My sister will not hawk again. So I was saved in a way.
Good afternoon, everyone. I've actually had like some experiences, but the one that actually opened my eye was I was really, really young. It was at our old house. So there was this like a bachelor that used to live with us. He has this way he touches me, this grip, he will grip here, then he comes down whenever he sees me alone. But whenever we are with people, he never does that. So I didn't know what he was, but I was never comfortable with him. So I used to avoid him. So my mom noticed that whenever there was a gathering and I greeted everyone, I always avoided him. So she called me and she was like, what happened with this guy? Then I explained to her that I didn't like the way he touched me whenever he saw me. So it was my mom that voiced out. It was a really like huge dispute then. She called everyone then. There was a warning. All the children started avoiding him. So that was when I opened my eyes. I realized I should have actually told my mom from the start that this was actually really, really wrong. It was not just me being uncomfortable. What he was doing was actually really, really wrong.
So I remember a vivid incident of one of our family friends, washerman. And everybody went out. I said, I'm staying back. We used to go there for holidays. And this man just came to the living room and just was all over me. You know, when you are in primary 5, 6, and you're already menstruating, as young as I was, I developed quickly. So you are always an attraction. So this man just came. While my eyes were closed, I'm like, what do I do? I already knew what was going on. What do I do for this man? I just grabbed his penis. As young as I was, who harassed who first? I gripped this man with all the strength I had as a 15-year-old. And all he did was begging, please, please. And that was when I knew, okay, if I grip this thing, issue don't solve. And that was how I was saved. Everybody wants to take advantage of you. In the church, you are in church for vigil. You know, vigil starts at 12 midnight. Okay, we are in church from 9 p.m. Just look for one corner to sleep. One alagba is trying to rough handle you. And you're like, what is going on? Trying to do things with you.
If we must attack this problem holistically, honestly, I submit. I believe that the family has a very crucial role to play. I tell you, build the house, build the home, build the nation. I have heard this somewhere. Build the home, build the nation. And there are 5 basic social institutions. It starts with the family, then the family institution, then the religious institution. You know, we are focused on so much of the religious institution, the economic, and then the political. But you know, all of these societies are supposed to function as one whole entity so that we can move the society forward. But where the home failed, and I think to an extent the home has failed because there's been responsibilities. Roles have shifted. There are challenges in the society. I mean, it has become, it's your business, it's not my business. That's how I'm going to end this particular paper, why it is your business, you know. But again, let me just go back to this paper. I am not going to dwell much on what others have already said, because each time a speaker comes up and addresses an issue, I realize that my paper is thinning out. So I need to adjust to just address the basic issues. Now, youth today grow up in a world characterized, the topic itself is the importance of addressing sexual harassment in educational setting. What I've just given you is just some basic background information, and it is important that you address real-life situations to be able to understand whatever this paper talks about or whatever anybody tells you about it, because you are going to be the field officers, you know, by the time at the end of the workshop. Now, youth today grow up in a world characterized by stress, anxiety, and social change. It is therefore not surprising that as a way out of this social dilemma, they resort to all forms of deviant behavior like cultism, drug abuse, and rape. I am being intentional here, you know, in the mention of these 3 concepts, for they are critical factors to consider in an attempt at doing justice to this paper. Fortunately, the concepts are not strange to us, of course. Every institution has a responsibility to provide an enabling and conducive environment for learning. Otherwise, even that modicum of standards of learning, you know, is compromised, and with it, even the integrity of the certificates that we issue. She says something that anybody that is harassed or sexually abused may not have time to even complete a course. So that's the extent it could go. And of course, the Student Disciplinary Committee may have been inundated with some of these cases. We have had cases where a boyfriend arranged for his friends to come and rape the girl because the girl did not submit to him having carnal knowledge of her. You know, we have that kind of situation. But you know, by the time you talk to that kind of boy, and I like the contribution from Our Lady in Blue, you know, we must also understand where some people are coming from. But that is not an excuse. It's not an excuse at all. I was trying to to distinguish between sexual harassment, rape, and all of that, but that has been addressed by the first speaker.
Okay, my name is Adedayo Kadijat. I am here for the GESP program. I am a trained mastercraft under GSM repair and maintenance. Through this program and lecture, I have learned the importance of gender equality, how it applies to both gender, and how proper equity can be adopted to satisfy both sides. Today here, I have learned the importance of the importance and the meaning, prevention of sexual abuse, exploitation, gender-based sexual abuse, its meaning, how it can be avoided, how it can be prevented, how proper reports should be made, how corrections and stuff should be made. My advice to learners or older people in different fields, both young and old, is that when something happens to you, you might not see it as a sexual abuse or sexual harassment, but if it does make you uncomfortable in any way at all, voice out. Yeah, when you see all these things happen to you, tell someone that can help. Don't just keep it to yourself or keep quiet. The more you keep quiet, the more it's going to go on. When you voice out, you're giving other people an opportunity to also come out, be confident, and express their own pains and difficulties. So please, when you see or it happens to you or to anyone that you know, please speak out.
My name is Adit Tudebola Adesanya from Life Skill Empowerment. It's so glad to be here for this great program. It's been enlightening and educating. And for our nation to grow, our community, our society, the family, every religious organization to really grow, we need a lot of these programs from the victims and those who are perpetrating any form of sexual harassment or gender-based violence. We all need to put our hands together to educate them. A lot of them do not know better. That's why they do what they do. For some, it's a criminal instinct that we also really need to work with them to help them get better. So we need to do a lot of this program, not a one-off thing, more of it so that our society can be clean and be a better place for our children to grow up in. Thank you.
I'm Okikiola Folashade. I'm a lecturer in YabaTech here. I've learned a lot today in this GSP program. I learned about the difference between sexual abuse, sexual exploration, and sexual harassment. And all the existing tools that I've learned today has been a blessing to me, in which anywhere I get to, nobody can intimidate me. And I'll be able to stand for others who are less privileged, who as a result of their culture, and is passing through one thing or the other that is silent, they will not be able to talk or say it out. And one major thing I really learned today is what we call sexual harassment. Sexual harassment in a way in which those people who are maybe they're senior to you, taking advantage of you, giving you gifts in order to take sexual advantage of you, of one. With this, I believe anywhere I get to, whoever I meet, I will let them know that they should not give room to sexual abuse, sexual harassment, and sexual exploration.
My name's Engineer Adebisi Adedapo, the President of Computer Telecommunication Engineering Association of Nigeria, COMTIN, partnering with YabaTech on this training. I believe it's a noble call, and we need to embrace this kind of training worldwide. And it gladdens my heart to be part of this transformative journey anywhere in the world, because gender equality is something we need to take more seriously. Most importantly, the training we have today is an eye opener. And I so much love and believe too well that for now, every individual, mostly the female, should develop a kind of an esteem. They should develop a kind of self-esteem, and they should not allow anyone to harass them, both sexually or physically or anyhow. They should be able to maintain their dignity. They should be able to maintain their quality. They should not allow someone to toss them around for any reason. Anywhere they find themselves, they should develop that self-esteem, trust, and believe in themselves. Have that confidence that anywhere, any day, anyhow they find themselves, they will be able to stand firm and maintain their quality. Thank you.